name is regret. I'm pretty sure we have met every single day of your life. I'm the whisper inside that won't let you forget. Hello, my name is defeat. I know you recognize me. Just when you think you can win, I'll drag you right back down again until you've lost all belief. Well, these are the voices, oh, these are the lies, and I have believed it for the very last time. Hello, my name is child of the one true King. Well, I've been saved, I've been changed, I have been set free. Amazing grace is the song I sing. Hello, my name is
Child of the one true King.
Oh yeah, come on. Whoa. As you clap your hands, let's sing God's promise together, okay? Say, what love the Father has lavished, come on, upon us, that we should be called His children. Well, I am a child of the one true King. You say, what love the Father has upon us, that we should be called His children. Well, I am a child of the one true King. Before we sing this one more time, I want to tell you something, okay? I want to tell you the face that I see when I sing this song and the name that I see. And I want you to stop clapping for a second because you made me forget my story. His name is Jordan, and he heard me talking on a radio station named Caleb. I was doing an interview, and I was telling people that there's power in your story, but you might be surprised by which chapter God wants to speak through. The one you might see as worthless, He might be looking at it and saying, no, it's priceless, and I got plans for you. And so Jordan wrote his story to me, and I was inspired by his honesty and his vulnerability, his transparency, the kind of way I want to be. He said, hello, my name is Jordan, and I'm a drug addict. First sentence of his story. He said, I didn't start out that way. I was a good preacher's kid growing up. Well, we had that in common. I'm a good preacher's kid, too. I'm still in recovery for that. Jordan went on to college. He told me he became an All-American athlete. Who wouldn't like that name on their name tag, right? But his sophomore season, he had a bad injury, and his season was over, his dreams in sports were over, and the doctors prescribed him a pain medication called Oxycontin. He said, Matthew, I don't know how to explain it, but I got hooked, and I became a full-blown drug addict right there in college. He failed 2 drug tests, got kicked out of college, lost his scholarship, and hit his rock bottom. But his parents were there begging him to believe that even though this was a broken chapter of his story, it doesn't have to be the defining and final chapter of his story. So kicking and screaming as a last resort, he agreed to go to a Christian drug recovery program where he spent an entire year allowing God to reshape his identity. And that's what it was about. He said, Matthew, my whole life I've been thinking it was up to me to put my name on my name tag and figure out who I am. But I realized my name was already given to me a long time ago. And now I know that on my worst day, I'm a child of God. And on my best day, the most significant title I could ever wear is child of God. Amen? And I'll tell you this story this morning because it's a comeback story. And I believe that's God's plan for each and every one of your stories. That it's a comeback story. And for it to be a comeback story, we got to come back to the truth that God offers us, right? He graduated from the recovery program, Jordan did. Then he went back to the school that kicked him out, and he got a master's degree. Today, Jordan's a varsity basketball coach, a high school teacher, a husband and a father, and he brings his kids to my show every time I come to his city so his sons and his kids can hear the victory song inspired by his story. How many of you believe that God can change a life and make every story a comeback story? Amen? Now you say, what love the Father has lavished upon us, that we should be called His children. That's what you are. I am a child of the one true King. One more time. What love the Father has lavished upon us, that we should be called His children. I am a child of the one